You're watching TelecomTV's coverage of Mobile World Congress 2015 from Barcelona. And I'm joined in the studio now by Dave Slater from HP. Dave, welcome and thanks for talking with TelecomTV again. There's a lot of interest at the show on the Internet of Things sector. Are we in a stage now where the IoT is reality, or are we still in a hype phase?
It's kind of interesting in that the business imperative behind IoT has been around for many years. You think of RFID tags for asset tracking, for example, that's been around for decades.
So what's causing this current acceleration in interest in IoT?
I think there's a perfect storm of several events that are all sort of causing that inflection point. The ubiquitous wireless mobile access, data access for one, and then there's a set of technologies, the cloud technologies, the device technology, the sensor technology, analytics, all of these things are coming together to create a perfect storm that's just causing an explosion. There's predictions of about 4 billion connected devices by 2017.
I mean, it's a vast number of devices we're looking at here. And what role will the communication service providers play in this?
Well, if you think about it, all of these different IoT services are very diverse, but they're typically within vertical enterprises. And these vertical enterprises want to focus on what they're good at. So if you're a car company, you know all about cars, and you know all about, for example, diagnostics in the cloud. But what you don't want to do is think about everything in between. They don't want to be buying millions of SIM cards and managing all that stuff, right? So they need somebody to just take care of that for them and make it work. And so you turn to a service provider and you think of who has the technology, who has the capability, who has a network of connectivity, who has the ability to offer as a service and host it, etc. And probably most importantly, who has the trust. If you think of a security and reliability, you go all the way back to the black phone and you picked it up and you got dial tone, it just worked, right? And when I talk about these verticals wanting to not think about it, well, you didn't have to think about dial tone. So you can almost think of the CSP's role to be the dial tone for the Internet of Things.
If that's the CSP's role, what's HP's role? Where does HP sit in this ecosystem?
So we've got what we believe is the most scalable and the most agile platform to enable these CSPs to provide that that dial tone to the Internet of Things, to keep that metaphor going. And if you think about it, there's a whole bunch of telco DNA that needs to be part of that, and HP's been doing that for many years. We have 500 million subscribers on our mobility management solution. We have 300 million devices in our device management solutions. We're 90 million SIMs, for example, that were being managed in a deployment in Brazil. So we've got that deep telco DNA to enable the service providers. And at the same time, you're seeing a convergence and an intersection of IT. So if you think of the new style IT and the value that the broader HP brings to the table, right? And the pillars of that, cloud and the assets to cause this inflection point and the right price points. You think of mobility, of course, is a key part of it. But probably most importantly, you think of security, and all these, I talk about the car companies, well, you need to keep that very private and very secure. And then the most important and the most exciting is the analytics. Everybody wants to mine. You get more and more connected devices, there's more and more information flowing. The complex and the high value add use cases are really around analytics and really mining the potential of all that stuff flowing through the network. HP has DNA and pedigree in the telco side, we have DNA and pedigree on the IT side, and the combination is pretty rare, so the CSPs and the verticals are looking to us, which is the third key point to me, which is our flexible go-to-market. HP knows enterprises very, very well, and more importantly, we know the verticals. And if you think of these use cases, who else but an HP type of company can really talk about how we empower and how we enable and how we bring those together in a triangle with the CSP, HP, and the verticals. So it's pretty cool. And we have the ability to host this platform. We're hosting it in the cloud. We can deploy it on the premise with the CSP, or as classical in the cloud, there's hybrid scenarios where the CSP will have a half dozen of the assets already deployed, but they'll be missing 3 or 4 key places. So we're very modular, and we can deploy it in full cloud, full premise, and hybrid in between. Combination of all those things really add up to HP being in a very powerful position to make this acceleration happen with the CSP.
So is HP participating actively now, or are we going to be seeing moves in the future?
Oh, absolutely. This is, as I said, some of the simple use cases have been around for years, but this is really starting to explode now. So for example, in Japan, we are deployed now with, I think it's up to about 28 million electric meters, where basically the CSP, HP's platform running in the CSP, is providing to an electric company as a service, so the electric company can focus on the grid and can focus on the meters and the devices and not think about it in between. Here in Europe, we've got a scenario where it's gas metering, same idea, enabling a CSP to offer it as a service to a gas company so they can focus on their gas supply and all that stuff, and then their end customers. The one that's got me really excited is the future smart cities type initiative, where we're working with a service provider to provide to municipalities. And they've got sensors in the streetlights. And if you look at the average municipality today, about 40% of their electric bill they get every month is electric for the streetlights. So if they can take 10–20% of savings just by turning them on and off at the right times and knowing which one's burnt out, etc., huge savings, it actually pays for itself. But the coolest part of that is, because of the return on investment is so soon and so fast, like it pays for itself, they can start to build up. They can start embedding mesh Wi-Fi in those streetlights. They can start doing home security for the people in the community. They can start doing the municipality-wide security and monitoring, turn the street light on when somebody walks by type of thing, or gets within a zone. So all of that advanced smart cities type of stuff starts to build on a simple thing of saving that 40% of electric bills, and it just generates from that. So I could give dozens of examples, but it's here, it's now. We are absolutely working with the CSPs to put that dial tone of IoT.
As you say, it's an incredibly dynamic market and it's accelerating so fast. Dave Slater, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.